old and new business, so I would think there would be no minutes for approval, am I correct? Because we don't have minutes for it. So we'll just bypass that and note that we start all the minutes fresh for 2025 on whatever date this is, February the 10th. Even old business, that's old business because we started talking about the first thing I would think would be on the agenda and would be the community center because I've already, as a board, we talked to the mayor about it in the last meeting, so that would still be old business. I think about the community center fees. So we talked as a group of some the ladies was gonna look up some fees just to find out what was charged in the surrounding communities. Ms. Shalon, you have that?
Yes.
Can you, like, just read through a couple of it if you want to.
Okay, so for the city of Newtown, they have it broken down by 2 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour increments. Sunday through Friday, 2 hour rental, $200. 4 hours, 400, and 6 hours, $600. And they also do a full day of rental for $1,000. Now that's for the center on Brook Lane. And pretty much the center, the MLK Center right here on Forest Road, they do 2 and 4 hour rentals the same way, 200, 400, 600 for 6 hours, and all day 1,000. And that's for Hueytown. And let's see, this is Midfield. They have theirs broken down by conference room, gym, meeting room, and the Highlands building. So they have a $75 deposit. Residents can rent for 4 hours at a rate of $130. Non-residents, $160, and that's for the conference room. They rent their gym out with a deposit of $100. The residents pay $350, that's for 4 hours, and non-residents $400. Their meeting room, $25 deposit, $30 for the residents, and $35 for non-residents. And this Highlands building, it's $100 deposit and $200 for residents and $225 for non-residents. They state that they will rent the pavilion out for the residents for $60, and that's only for 2 hours. The pavilion, 2 hours at $60, and non-residents $120. So those are the places that.
All right, so we did the little research to really come down to figuring out we the cheapest anywhere around this side of town. So we all kind of agreed last time that we would just, research and figure out how much we want to go up, because we do know we need to go up. All right, so we did talk about cleaning on that too. What do we want to recommend on cleaning? So when we do visit this, raising the fees for the community center, we do need to visit, how we're gonna do the cleaning and stuff too. And this, the way this works and stuff, we do our discussion here, and then we come to the group, we do our vote. and then that's just recommended to the city council. They have the, you know, the words, the mayor and city council.
Okay.
But they take recommendations, recommendations from us. So,
I think I also put in there was non-residents and
okay.
residents.
Okay, so let's view that too. That was brought up too. So we just, as far as our community center as it stands now, we just rent to the community resident. So as a board, you know, how do y'all think about recommending to the city council that we do open it up at a more, we said at a more rate than the community, but how do y'all think about renting it out to non-resident? Discussion.
My only concern would be if we did that, and it got booked up a lot with non-residents, then our residents wouldn't be able to book. That's my only concern, but other than that, I'm okay with it.
All right, a lot of times, y'all know I'm strong in opinion, so a lot of times I let y'all talk before I throw my little 2 cents in there. Because on this situation, I don't think we should rent it, because it's not like a money-making, you know, thing for us. It's just another plus for our community, you know. So we need to raise it, because we're not even making enough to pay the cleaning, but for us, you know, raising to a fee to compete with everybody else, I don't think that, or renting out to other residents. I would vote no, so it would just be my 2 cents.
Yeah, I had the same thought that Ms. Wright had. I started thinking about if we did try to rent it out to outside Pleasant Grove residents, it would frustrate our residents if they couldn't get it because we had rented it out to someone from another, you know, city or
Right.
something. So I don't think that would be a good idea, me personally. So that would be my vote, would be no.
Does anyone know if we've ever had anyone inquire about it outside the community?
I don't know.
No idea. I guess it's not an issue, because we've never done it before.
I guess my concern would be, we mentioned about revenue, once we try to figure out what's charge, then that, because right now, we're just charging to pay the bills. We're looking to make some profit, we're not just trying to pay a light bill, a heat bill. My suggestion is to make something besides just paying a light bill, cleaning up the service. If the rental fee is $100 and the light bill is 90, let's make it $10. So that's makes out something that line item can be justified by the rental fee. If it's $10 times how many times you make the building, we know make it something. And I know we shy away from some social media because of the negative aspect of it, but once you put that in against a rental facility, and first of all, it's
Shout out to social media.
I know, but once you advertise and say these people, you know,
Well, to speak to that, what we talking about, we raise just some, we will be able to cover it, you know, cause it's rented out enough. Even during the summer, you know, pavilions are not, I don't know, we haven't talked about the pavilions, they probably need to be raised a little bit too, but it's raised, it's occupied enough to make some profit. If we raise it, you know.
so I haven't seen the schedule to see how the schedule is looking right now. Around the summer, now graduations,
Yes.
baby showers,
Mhm.
retirement, and that was so
Right.
that could be up in the interview in the daytime. I know the dance was present, the social, the senior citizens activities for those.
Okay, so let's move, suggestions on raising the price, what are y'all thinking?
It's currently what?
$100. It's currently $25 an hour. That's,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what that basically is right now.
Oh, that's what we can raise to that.
Mhm.
Do you have extra copy of that?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
This
just something, I have to revisit this later, this is just one of those old bylaws, so that's the next time you can find out. Yes, what the prices were.
Mayor, I'll look for the paperwork. What did we discuss? Do you remember what we were thinking about wanting to, trying to get?
Yeah, I think we had talked about, we had just talked about raising the fee, but we didn't compare it to an hourly rate. And, she may have the minutes, Miss, do you have the minutes from?
Well, the conversation, when we're thinking about raising it to 225.
Yeah, but we did not talk about it
Hourly or
in
anything.
hourly
Right.
rates, like you have it broke down here. But we thought at 225 that was, I mean, reasonable and fair compared to what has to happen. Because especially now, right now, we have it where our public works goes and polices the area and makes sure that it's clean or whatever. So even if it's not clean and they forfeit that deposit, then but still, of course, money that stays in our coffers can go straight to them. So.
So that the way it was in our rental fees, and $4, 4 hours is our minimum, I guess. So that would be, because we thought, my suggestion was at least $50 an hour to make it a $200 minimum. So if y'all saying
So it's like
225.
250 an hour or something.
So we just roll on that, y'all. Did, 62.50 hour, 62, would that be, the odd number be? Y'all cool with the odd 62 something?
Well, I think one thing you could look at is, I think one thing you're gonna have to determine first is if the park board is going, I didn't know it was on. If the park board is going to, be responsible for the policing after the events, and then if that's the case, how, important is it to you for that new rate? So if it's 225 for however many hours you determine, I think $75 an hour may be fair for each additional hour. Because now you're going into, possibly into another person's time. And then also you have to consider that if it's an event that requires police security, they still have to be paid. So, just a
Thank you. When the police do, so if that's coming out of their $225?
No, they
They
have
have
to
to
pay it
separate.
separately, but what I'm saying
Add it to
is,
their money. Okay.
But they
And then-
hire security from us, when they bring them.
normally it's a Pleasant Grove police officer that serves in that capacity. Yeah. And now, and also keep in mind that off-duty may be doing it before their shift. So they may be just off, coming in 4 hours early just to work an event, and then they may have to go to work. So then you run into that problem as well. So it may have to be a situation where the additional hours are only available if police is not required or unless police is available. It's a lot of ifs, ands, or scenarios possible.
Okay, so let me throw this fees out there. Y'all country, right? $250 for the 4 hours and then $75 for each additional hour. Are we good with that?
Yes,
I think
yes,
that's
I think that's
That
fair,
sounds
that's
fair
fair.
to me.
And what is a deposit? So I'm seeing that, let me misread.
Currently the deposit is 110.
Okay.
So that definitely needs to be increased.
Increase, yeah, deposit, I don't see a deposit on here at all, so.
And I will update the park board that our Public Works just painted the inside of the facility today.
Thank you.
So that's an expense, and you're welcome, absolutely. But I'm not telling you that because it's gonna come to the park board for you guys to do anything it's just one of those maintenance things that we wanted to let you know has happened.
I think the 250 would be great. I guess my next question, I think I would ask Mr. Taylor, what does the center offer? Kitchen, ice machine, or whatnot, the people who's really allowed to do what? Cook, bring food, of course, no alcohol, like those things that be necessary when somebody's renting a facility.
So when they rent a facility, they do have access to a full kitchen that is in working order. It includes, a traditional refrigerator, not an oversized, not a commercial. Traditional refrigerator, a full stove, oven with an oven. They have a full kitchen with a great deal of space to spread out, in my opinion, for it to be a small community center. And they have access to all the tables and chairs. So we don't charge extra for that. But that's pretty much what they have. It's an open room. And there's a side hallway that they may be able to access, but that's it. There is an upstairs to the community center, but we don't, we're in the process of adding or a lock to that because we're using it for other reasons right now.
I think we have.
Alright, so, those discussed, so what about the deposit? Yeah, what y'all going, what we gonna go up to on deposit? And I'll make a motion for this.
Much better.
Yeah, that's
Much better.
Could I make a request of the park board to, as a consideration? I'm in total agreement with the 125, but I also think that we need to include some type of language about damage.
Yes.
So the 125 could be cleaning, yes, but damages could be extra. We're very fortunate we have not had that, but it's just a risk management thought that that's possible.
So what would that say, what would that?
Do you have
$125 deposit?
do we have a copy of the agreement now? Did anyone sign, do we have any of those?
Let me see if I can.
Would that be added to the 125?
Yes, I would say damages, but we just need to determine the language that we
Yeah, it
would
just needs to be
use for.
included in.
I'm sorry, I
the
put my
agreement.
microphone.
Yeah.
What'd she say?
She want to apologize. She want to mark.
She wasn't on the microphone, she was talking about the
Yeah.
damages. Oh.
Okay, so how would that be stated, the damages? Would it just say 125 deposit, or if damage something?
It will incur more fees. Or you got to pay for the damages.
Yeah, our damages will be
Occur.
assessed, and
Assessed.
we have to pay the.
Pay the damages. Of course.
We'll leave that to the experts. Y'all have to
Yeah,
figure
that
that out.
legal language.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say with,
Yeah, so come up on pavilions.
Definitely. But I think.
the one is up top. I
Yeah.
guess.
I think.
Yeah, after all the work that, I mean, painting and sprucing up that's been done, definitely. You can even, you wanna protect that stuff and make sure. And right now, according to these bylaws, and I guess they is $30 for the number one and 15 for the other one.
And
That's,
those rent.
yeah, that's.
So what we going, what y'all think about going on to the next?
This is the current agreement that they have to sign, and
pavilion one, at least to $50 or more.
Those were pretty bad.
We discussing going up on the bids also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they went some bad. It's-
Man, we discussed the current fees that we talk about upgrade, and we're gonna leave how the damage assessment literature is spoken to y'all, you guys, to the experts.
Okay. The lane.
Yes, yes. All right, so what y'all think of pavilion one up top? At least going up to 50?
175.
What's the current?
$30.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And it's a day, right? This is a day.
Think that, I think that it would be unreasonable to go to 100. Because you have the fenced-in area, you know, that you can have your birthday party, whatever, which has seating, although it's concrete, but it's seating. That also has one of those, I'm sorry. The pavilion up top is gonna have seating, it's gonna have an enclosed area, especially if you're having a smaller children's party, that would be ideal. And then it also has a grill area. It is
And both
not
pavilions have
electrical outlets.
Yeah.
Now, and my question though is the pavilion, pavilion, does that presumptively include that covered area as well?
We always have something.
Okay.
Up against that, against both of them. Cause it's kinda hard to.
When they're right next to
You
each
got-
other, yeah.
You got the big one, you don't want the fellas over there next to you, so we use both of them.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
$100.
yeah, that's, if not 125. You said it's currently rented for 30?
Yes.
So you may want to consider that and just do 130. Because I will tell y'all this, commonly, as much as we try to police it, they leave trash every time. And that pulls away from our staff for a whole day after the event. Because if they're renting up the portion up top, almost without fail, they're gonna go to the basketball court, they're gonna go to the, pickleball or tennis courts, and
I would say 130, considering that you're so close to those two items, the pickleball.
it's almost like you getting the whole
Like
thing.
the whole park, and then you can just walk down to the slide, and the swing set, so 130 is definitely, yeah.
I don't think that's unreasonable.
So what are we talking about? For the small pavilion,
It's currently 50.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm the one right now.
130,
75.
75,
I think easily 75. Now, another question about that, that's the open area one, open air one?
Yes, that one also has a closed, it's closed in as
Oh,
well.
yeah, where the bathrooms are and stuff, yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then my other question is, do they have to pay the rent, the open ones, or that's just first come, first served?
First come,
Yeah,
yes.
that's all.
Okay, I just asked the question.
What did we set the pavilion to?
75.
I think 75, because you're getting too close proximity restrooms as well.
Yeah, right on.
And also, which ones are ADA?
The two,
Top
the
and
top,
bottom.
pavilion 2 is supposed to be an ADA. And the bathroom, I think it's 80.
Pavilion 2 was changed. Pavilion
Changed
1 supposed to already be. But they widened the door on this pavilion 2.
Okay,
That's where they made it, it wasn't 2, they made it 1 big.
okay.
Okay, okay, I will make a motion that, we change the rental fees to $250 for 4 hour minimum, $75 an additional, each additional hour, $125 deposit, damage assessment to be charged, Pavilion one, $130 rental, Pavilion two, $75 rental. Can I have a second?
Second.
Second.
It's been moved and second that we, change all the fees. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank y'all for that. I think the second most important thing, and we'll scoot around, open it up after a while, but, is the, field leases. So, I had, like I said, I told y'all, there's no reason for us to even really discussing it, debating it until we figure out, from the mayor and the council what we needed to do. So I had my meeting with the mayor, and she informed me that, they have budgeted $7,000 for the year for the field usage. So that's, right now, we currently have 3 leases. So the board, we just did a little walk around, Saturday, because we hadn't met, talked. So it was discussed that, really when you get down to it, it's kind of, they really have enough, access to fields that it's kind of almost divided equal into 3. One might have just a little bit more than the other, but if we divide that into 3, organizations, what did we come up with?
$2,333.
So that would be, $2,333 for each, organization for just the rental of the property they have, because soccer has the 2 big soccer fields, which really is a football field and the football field, and, I call it travel. Baseball has most of the complex, except for the little F field, which they have access to, but they're not using it. And the softball have their 3 fields up at that's across from the old high school, LB school. So, are we still in agreement of trying to get, are we in agreement to divide it by 3 ways, 2,300 on their leases?
Well, we don't, that's all of them, they allocated.
Correct.
That's,
And what we still have to, what we discussed too is stuff as the utilities, to bring everybody up to the part. I call Z, I talked to Z because it was just the bills, everything's going up. So the utility bills, something went up. So 1 or 2 of the guys said, hey, this is more we used to pay. Well, the bills went up. So they kind of asked, which I agree, they want to know exactly which, meters they're responsible for. So, I talked to Z, me and Gino went out, this is confusing, I don't know what, because they're really not labeled, this is for this is for A field, this. So, I talked to Charles Goldsmith, and he's gonna come up, that's our, director. He's gonna talk to the Alabama Power and come up, and they're gonna tell us exactly which meters go to which field. Cause with the new leases, we thinking that, hey, all right, you're responsible for 2,300, to broke it down, however we're gonna break it down in quarterly or however we need to ask for them. And these are your utility bills, responsible for your part, which is not, I talk about it, y'all understand what I'm saying, a lot of stuff is done on handshakes, hey, it's $1,000, you pay 500, you pay 300, you pay, 200. So we wanna give them the exact power meters that they're responsible for. And I actually think that should be included in their leases too, so they'll know this is your power bill broke down to this is your money, that you're gonna be responsible for.
I guess before we go into that, Mr. President, is that once we find out, once the power company come out and identify which meter belongs to
Which field?
which field, and the power company will generally do that for us, because that's important. Then identify that, and then make sure when they come out, to make sure every power light is working. Because they do that for us as well too, because if they charging us for the lights, and if the lights may not be working, it may not be, but we might not know it. And the people, the leasees may not know it. So let's first start there, and then identify which ones which, because I'm gonna charge anybody for the lights, and they ain't working properly.
And we have to check into it because
Yeah.
the city still, the infrastructure still belongs to the city. So the light bulbs and all that stuff about power just until that's y'all.
Exactly, but they don't put the power, don't know if the light bulb is out. They just know it's still on when their churches.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that what you need to do is we need to come up with a maintenance plan.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's one thing on the park boards to do this. I would think would be creating a maintenance plan, and we can help execute that to whatever extent we can with our public works. I just don't know how extensive the plan would be. That's one thing, and then the second thing is normally, unless I'm mistaken, normally what happens is the programs are charged whatever Alabama Power charges us. So if they're charging for a light that's not working, then, you know, unless we're gonna start auditing utility bills, which I can tell you now, we don't have the staff to do it. So unless we're gonna hire a company to audit a utility bill, it is what it is. But as far as I agree with the lights being out, we definitely can do that. Or you can add to your another option. You can add a clause to your lease that they have the obligation to notify us when there's a light out, and then as part of our duties or due diligence, we'll go in and make sure that those are updated or changed or whatever the park board feels is they would want the city to put into that as a consideration. Then one other question I have is, I know you mentioned the youth football field, that the soccer program has that. So what is the plan if they're able to get the youth football program back up? What is the plan for that? That's one question. And then the other question is, I want to circle back to the fees when you answer the question about the youth football field. What are
So between those two, they will be able to, this plan that you're asking, so soccer and football will be able to coexist on the same field if they're only playing there. You will have to say, hey, Little League football is coming back. You cannot practice on this. You can only play your Sunday games here.
Okay.
And then Little League will have to practice. We'll make somewhere else for them to practice. And then you just, practicing is what tears them up. Practice is the reason you can't share a field. But if
Right.
you're just playing, Little League will never play on Sunday. Soccer plays on Sunday.
Right.
So that's really would be a problem. But this organization won't be a problem because Little League plays on Saturday mornings, soccer plays on Sunday. You
Okay.
just have to make sure Little League cleans it up before soccer gets, that's all.
Okay.
They just wouldn't practice on that, on our Little League field. You know, on the stadium field, you wouldn't practice on it no more. And they would have to understand that to coincide together.
Now, who wouldn't practice anymore?
Nobody would practice. That's what tears up the fields.
Oh, okay.
The practice. So in order for two organizations to play on our Little League field, they would have to just practice other places and just play their games on that through the season and wouldn't tear it up. That's what you're worried about.
What would it, I guess my other question would be, what would it take to get the practice field back up?
Well, we would have to get it up. And if we get Little League back, we need that.
Okay.
Because that's what tears up the fields. When the Little League practice in four corners on the football field, it can't take it.
Can I request that we go ahead and start looking into what it would take
Yes.
to do that, with anticipation that the program, even if it does not make it back this year, I still would like to keep
Yes.
pushing forward to get to it
Yes.
at least next year.
Yes.
So.
And I have talked to
If I can
Charles, and that's
request
what
that.
I'm telling him. We would just have to let it, we're still over it, and everybody who leased this from the beginning know that, the city still holds first choice of our youth sports. They know that.
Perfect.
The handshake has been done.
Yeah.
Okay, but they understand that, and that's the only way soccer and Little League football can do it, because they're different things.
Okay. And so my other question about the fees is I just want to make sure that the park board is aware that even though this is the $7,000, that this will just take us through September 30, 2026. And then that's one part of it. The other part of it is this lease that, because Mr. Taylor has confirmed that we don't have any current contracts, correct?
No,
No
that's
renewal
what's signed.
contracts.
Yes. They
I
can
mean,
sign any
leases.
leases.
We have no current leases. So, excuse me, so the first lease that, I mean, not first, but the lease that they will receive now will be a short-term lease that will expire September 30. And then, I would like for us to get back on, at the pleasure of the park board, of course, but for us to get back on contracting October 1 to September 30 again, because previously it was changed to a December 31st end date, a calendar. It was changed to a calendar, but for budgeting reasons, I'm begging the park board to please take us back to September, yeah, to a fiscal year, because the budgeting was off.
That was my next question, of how did that get moved to now to
September, the first is the short term.
That is a city fiscal year.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What's the plan for the dilapidated buildings?
I'm sorry,
What is the plan for the dilapidated buildings?
which ones?
Like
Yeah.
concession stands and the park.
When we walked around over there the other day, it was the ceilings falling down in the concession, in the upper press box, up around at the baseball fields.
Mm-hmm.
And there
The
is
ceiling
rotting.
is falling down. We couldn't go in there. We didn't have a key, but you can just see it. There's a window broken. It's
So
in
I-
much disrepair.
Yeah, I think that, because we weren't aware,
Yeah.
I don't know of a plan because we weren't aware. So, I think that that's another part of what we need to determine in these leases. What's going to be considered, our responsibility. I know historically, it has been us that's the infrastructure. But, actually being a part of those programs, I know how those areas were treated by the, participants. And there's no policing, no controls, no anything. And realistically, you guys, we could be making repairs to this every year. And so I think that we need to consider that. And I'm not saying that you have to do anything about it. I just want you to be considerate of that. And so I think that as a city council and mayor, we may need to look at budgeting only certain amounts that are able to go towards the infrastructure of the programs. And then once that money runs out, then it may be the responsibility of the leasee to, take up the slack unless it's something that the city should be responsible for. I don't,
You haven't seen.
yeah.
I think that, and I hear what you're saying, Mayor, I think things that we've seen it was probably just the infrastructure of not wear and tear, it was wear and tear of storm damage of just the buildings being old, and lack of our attention as the city, the city.
And that's, in fairness, I can understand, that's probably, I mean, I don't question what y'all saw or what you're saying. But I just want us thinking proactively going forward when we go in and fix this up. Just like the community center, for an example. We just painted the inside of that community center, I think, 2 years ago or something like that. And then it had to have a whole fresh coat of paint, but we were not policing to make sure that when people go in, that they should have received their deposits back. When Mr. Goldsmith first came here, we were having to remove balloons and, all kinds of stuff because people just didn't, they just didn't clean up behind themselves, and then they were still getting their deposits back. So that was a failure internally on us. But what I'm saying is I want us to think in terms of how we can make sure that we're properly policing this to be good stewards over the money that we are spending. And it's not to question what y'all saw. I believe you 100% because it was not in the best repair when my sons were there. And that's been,
It wasn't in good repair when I was off.
right. So I right. Question one word that y'all said, but also know that some of the things that went wrong in there was from just plain old abuse. It wasn't, Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Well, but it's in their lease though. They do have
they have leases, but they're not using them because they're not
in good repair.
using.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think all they're really using is the restrooms.
Yes.
But they can't use
Like a big, what used to be big field, you know what we call it now.
Which is at the bottom of the concession stand. They still be filled.
So what the ladies are talking about and stuff, that, I totally understand what you're saying, so I wish this, first of all, wouldn't be the, press box, it would be like the restrooms, it would be the infrastructure stuff. And then what you're talking about is all of the dugouts, all those utility sheds, we gotta police them because they can't, they use my time, they can't tear them up and stuff, but the list would be, really be infrastructure stuff first.
And I think that's what we start. Just
Yes,
start
yes,
there, and
yes.
then let's see what the city council may have in reserve or in the coffers or something to see what we are able to do and what that looks like.
Okay, so, yes,
Now, because the good thing is that we are gonna go into a lease from this month is February to September, which is, we're okay with that, which is not a whole year. And
So
then
we'll
we can,
renovate this year,
uh,
because we're 6 months in.
Because they're just starting their baseball season, so they're about to really utilize
A whole lot.
a whole lot.
We're just gonna do it from.
And plus, we have to keep in mind that the people that are there now, although it's not a punishment, it's not a trying to go back, but they have leased these fields for how many years now?
I don't know on top of my head, we said 4 or 5, I know,
Yeah, and they paid $1 a year for all of those years.
So we're gonna go February to September, and before September come, we need to come before them, maybe August, present them before September 30th, on September 1st, and revisit, so if they're really interested to do this again, and then from there.
I would say maybe pencil it for July.
July,
And then you may be able to make a determination by then. It gives the park board, more time to determine what it looks like to actually maintain the area.
And then they give them time, because the fiscal year ends, and then, I'm not sure when the budget will start, and the budget approval has to go before the council at that time, so that'd be time to do everything.
Alright, so, y'all okay on the discussion of the leases? I can make a motion on 2,300, are y'all good on discussion?
Which one thing I see, listen, we can't do anything about the infrastructure at this time, because
Oh, yeah, I get that.
funding. Now, when the budget get approved, I'm gonna be looking at the matters of the council, like, listen, I need some fine
They should have our wish list, they should have our wish list.
Wish list, we have budget, I'm gonna get right here for budget approval,
They have a wish list.
July,
Yeah.
so yes, so we're gonna let that point, and we can do what we can as a board, collectively, and make it look simple.
This is a Democrat, if you speak your word, then we go home, come on.
I'm just concerned about the short term, from February to September, charging the same rate as we would do starting next year from September to September,
It's gonna be from October to September.
for October to September. So charging the same amount for these 6 months as you would do for a whole next year.
No, I'm hoping we can increase it a little bit more. But I mean, that's a park board decision.
Amenities, but
Right.
and have something to change, payments.
Exactly. We're considering what's being offered, just like we just discussed about the community center. I think that should be a part of the consideration.
How much that is? Okay. 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 6 months,
It's 8 months.
8 months.
February to September.
They were, unless you started in March.
Well, man, it's already middle of February.
February's
Well,
already.
we ain't talked to them yet, so it's
Okay,
ten,
March,
yeah,
April,
it's
May,
March.
June, July, August, September, that's 7
I
months.
can't
So
see
that-
charging that 4 months.
that's 7 months.
So about $300. However, I think I asked the question of when does the season officially start and how much they're gonna make back. You said, you guys said they do charge their, guests to come and watch them play. And
Well, they charge.
the teams,
They charge the players.
players.
It's a private for-profit organization.
So that's like, 500, just $5,000, team, whatever, they're making it back. I'm not here to gouge anybody, but I'm looking at a deficit that we're already in versus the surplus or something. We gotta make something back.
Well, like I said, I spoke Terry on knowledge. This is the prices, but the teams can afford the price. That's what I'm saying. Just me telling you knowledge, yes, they can afford it.
They
Yeah.
can afford it,
Yeah, well, at the 7 months, that's $333.
a month. And they
Yeah,
make-
a month, and they probably make that off of one child.
Well, they more than that. They charge
Oh.
like $1,500,
Yeah.
like $1,500 a child.
One night played it.
That's why mine, I paid 3,000, that's for the whole camp, and that's what he's 26, so. It's that you can't write it off as his taxes.
All right, so we ready to go? All right, I make a motion that we, change the field usage. Oh, I'm
So
sorry.
I have a question, since you broke it down by months, are we accepting the payment by month, or do we want it all at one time?
Oh, yeah.
They currently are paying, I wanna say, is it quarter? They're not paying a month, they're paying lump sums at a time.
But that's for
And
the
it's
escrow for the power bill.
Right.
That's what they're responsible for, that has nothing to do with
Correct,
rental of the fields.
correct.
So, I mean,
Yes, correct. We need to figure out what we'll ask for the money.
well, I mean, I,
First payment, when they signed the agreement, it was a quarterly payment.
Well, no, it's not one payment. I was thinking of utilities. Yeah, yeah.
so I guess we need to decide that, and
Will you say that again, just from my notes and my mind?
Okay, so
They
what I was
pay quarterly for.
What I was thinking is just the money that they come up and when I talk to the guy, they write the check, but that's for the utilities.
Just the,
So
okay.
the city, outbound power bills comes in here and the city takes care of the power bills and then we tell the guys, hey, we paid the power bills, y'all come up and give us money on the power bills.
Okay.
Just the way it was done. So every, probably 3 times a year, they'll come up and give money on the power bills. That's just the way it was ran. Yeah, yeah.
well, we've never had a problem with them not
Yeah,
paying.
I'm so happy.
They've always paid.
But now, like you said, that's just the utility bills. Now, since we're getting a payment for the field usage, we need to figure out when we're gonna tell them this money is due. And that's correct. That's what y'all want, is it, split it in 2 times,
Since we only have about 8
half,
months, so we only have about 8 months left, I think that's you.
2 payments, half when they sign a lease and a couple months for the other half.
I
Is that how we do
see, I
it?
think we either do it monthly or either all at once.
I mean, having them come up there and pay monthly is kind of stretch.
Well, all at once.
Double or triple it up, not monthly. Let's go a little past monthly. I understand what you're saying, but let's go a little past monthly, so they won't have to come up here every month just to pay them at least, yeah.
Says 3 to 8 months later thing, so.
What y'all think?
I think it would at
Y'all
least.
got 9
It's
minutes.
3, it's 3 months, it's 3 months.
Y'all got 9 minutes.
There's no way you can set it up electronically
Huh?
I don't know.
Say it again.
Is there a way we can set it up where they can just
Electronically.
electronically pay?
That's the city. Now, you know, they coming up just bringing checks now, so there'll still be something that has to be down the road.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Electronic.
we don't have the ability for them to pay that. The only thing we have that's paid online, and that's through a third-party service, although we contract them, is the garbage. So we don't have the ability. And I would not feel comfortable with them calling, giving a
Oh,
number
right.
over the phone.
That's not security. Okay, so we have, so they don't have a lease signed yet, and we have March, April, May, June. Let's do, I would do 3 months, 2, 3 months at the most, because we'll get it out, we done with this.
If I could make one
Yes, ma'am.
suggestion maybe, so you may want to consider the first payment will be due by the end of March and then quarterly thereafter. It's just a thought. If you're trying to get them on quarterly terms. Or you could give them the ability to pay their first payment no later than April, May, June, then the end of June, and it includes 4 months. And then the next payment will be September. Just a thought, if you're trying to get them on a particular schedule.
But what y'all think quarter? I still think half up front and half and split the, what time left, what, 7 months? And split that, so now y'all, what's y'all suggestion?
I agree with you, however, I would prefer the last payment be paid before September, before the end of the term. Before we enter into the term.
So the first one will be March, and then what the next, June, yeah, and then what the next one, when the next one, pay our capital?
March, April, May, June. And then,
I'll just do the 2 payments, March, and then the final payment in June.
June.
that's a little review,
Okay.
contract.
March and June, is that March 1st, March 31st, well, end of the month? Again.
Well, consider we haven't talked about the
Yeah.
lease rate
Yeah.
and,
And we have services.
and by June 30th.
Okay.
It gives them the whole.
So I make a motion that we, charge a field rental for the 3 organizations, 2333, divided into 2 payments. And find out their current utility bill divisions. Cause we gotta still work on that. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, have moved, so we will, I'm contacting them? You-
Yes, as the chair of the.
Okay. And, can you put your, sticky note to see if Charles can get out? I talked to him, but see if he can get out and, he know what I'm talking about. Divide the utility bills up between the 3, organizations.
Okay. Will do.
And we're gonna, well, I talked to Z, she said, okay, but I guess we'll tell her that that's the way we're gonna do it. Put their utility bill usage on the leases too, so they'll know what they're current, okay.
Just if the park board could just write a letter or a memo or email or something, just making that request,
Okay, okay.
so I can have it for documentation.
Okay.
purposes.
The utility usage, what they're gonna pay for the utility be on their leases too, so they'll know what they're responsible for. Cause like I said, now they just kind of divided on the handshake.
And then, one question that we addressed, before in one of the previous meetings was the community center and checking it, like if we have 2 back-to-back events, what was the final determination? Cause the board looks a little different now than it did then.
We get a calendar, you know, it's kind of divided, take it.
So what she's asking, is the park board willing to take on the chore of going up, checking that, like, if somebody does 4 hours and then, which we said we probably gonna try to limit out, but just say Saturday evening, somebody does Saturday evening, then somebody gonna have church that morning, somebody needs to come check. And that'll be like that'll be the weekend, so the city, the park workers won't be here. So are we willing to take on responsibility to help city keep up with, checking? Yes.
I don't have a problem doing that, as long as I have a calendar to know when the events is, they don't coincide with my life, my personal life. I don't have a problem with making them just checking and get out my calendar and say, and if I can't do it, I can say, well, Ms. Brown, can you do it, Amy, can you do it? But I would definitely, in it, total in advance and say, yes, and I would come with, security and do it in advance.
So does that look like just eyeballing? That's it, just eyeballing?
People's name, toe holes in the wall.
Right, we had talked about having a checklist, a surface checklist to see, if it had been done. Of course, our team can do that if it's just one event, we can do that following Monday. But say if there's an event Saturday and an event Sunday, our team is not gonna be here.
So I think that my question would be, the person who's renting the building, would we be the point of contact for that weekend? That was my question. So if Mr. Smith rent the building and say, for instance, the lock is not working on, the light's not working or something happened, would we be the point of contact that day? So that, who they contact if something happened in the building or if the commode was stopped up? Who does that person contact about that?
We have not talked about that, but I would not want to put the park board in that position. Because
I don't want to get what that's what I'm saying. I don't want to be that kind of contact.
Right.
That's that. I mean, we may have never ran into a situation, but that needs to be, that checklist needs to be established. So if something does happen, bring
An
out a tissue
emergency
paper,
number.
emergency contact, bring out a tissue paper, bring out this, the stove not working, the back end. We're dealing with people,
Right.
and anything can happen.
We would have to try to figure that out.
And,
Right now, it's just Zeke. That's who they get the key from, our assistant, and that's who they gonna come back with, just the father. Nobody understand that. And report what's going on to her.
And and I'm the kind of person that I take pictures of everything when I'm entering the building, when I leave, which is important. However, something happened, they gonna say, well, that's not close when I got here.
Okay, so
Well,
we agree.
Go ahead.
It includes these things, so will the new city attorney prepare these?
He can.
I mean, we don't have anything for them
No,
to
and that's
sign.
where we need to wait on the utility things too, because that need to be added to it too. So yeah, they have to give us a new lease with all that on there. Okay. So we do, and I probably do most of the time. I just, if even because one person said, then help me, we need to check it.
Yeah,
I know how to do
So we will take on responsibility, coincide with checking, get our checklist together, we need keys, and then we'll go in and check.
So the other question I have is, are there any vacancies on the park board now?
Well,
Yeah,
we had 2 city councilors last year.
it was 5 people and 2 city councils.
Yeah. But this year we have 1, so there's really not. Daryl's, he's normally here, but he may have got called into work tonight.
Okay, is he still on the park board? Okay. Okay, so I was just asking, because I know it's normally 6 people here, so, or 7.
7.
Seven. And so I didn't know, I just wanted to make sure I had done my due diligence of, presenting someone to y'all, if that was the case. Okay.
All right, anything else y'all got? Okay, y'all got one on, y'all want, I make a motion?
Oh, I did, I asked the mayor and the council about the fence. And I just need to resubmit that,
Okay.
and we'll go from there.
Okay.
That was the ordinances, right?
Yeah, fence around the soccer field that the money was allotted for in 24, but never got done.
Okay.
So,
Probably need to take the bids, because that bid will be out there.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah, definitely. So,
We can do that.
so that needs-
All right, I make a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Second.
Second.
7:05.
Cops,
Yes.
that's it.
And,
Hey, you gonna call?
and Mason,
I can't do that for you, don't call.
Larry Mason.
Yeah,